Here are 50 things you didn't know about Elden Ring. If you learned something new, give this video a like and subscribe for more content. The Bandit class is the only starting class that has a standing animation after you get sent to the lands between. Every other class is already standing when you load in. In order to enter Lando, you need to acquire 2 of the 7 Great Runes. However, you only have access to 5 of them before entering the capital. The Great Runes of Morgott and Millennia are impossible to get without glitches before entering the capital. Melina can only send you to the round table after you either encounter Margit or exit Limgrave. However, Melina will not show up for you if you're resting at a grace in a cave, grotto, tunnel, or catacomb. Each remembrance either gives you 20,000, 30,000, or 50,000 runes. The only remembrance that doesn't follow this rule is Radahn's, as it gives you 40,000 runes. There's an NPC in both Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3 named Irina. Both NPCs are blind and both have a connection to Morn. Irina's protector in Dark Souls 3 wears the Morn armor set, and Morn is the home of Irina in Elden Ring. The Deathrite bird in Caelid does not spawn in from the sky like others do. Instead, it is already spawned in and walking around before you aggro it. The Deathrite bird in Mountaintops of the Giants is the only nighttime boss in the game that can be fought during the day. You don't technically have to die at the beginning of the game. If you let Grafted Scion hit you until your health depletes, you do not get the "you died" screen. In fact, your HP does not even go to 0. This makes it possible to do deathless runs in Elden Ring. The highest level that a stat has on a starting class is 16. It is a tie between the hero's strength, the astrologer's intelligence, the warrior's dexterity, and the prophet's faith. On the flip side, the lowest level stat in a starting class belongs to the prisoner, which has 6 faith. Technically, the only enemy you have to defeat to beat the game is Malekith. This is possible by utilizing the zipping and wrong warping glitches. These glitches allow the player to cross vast distances instantly, and get sent to Farum Azula early. If you're curious, check out the any % unrestricted speedrun of Elden Ring to see how it's done. Consecrated Snowfield does not have any unique bosses. Each boss found in this area has at least one doppelganger elsewhere in the game. Technically, some Remembrance bosses are not unique either. These include Godric, Morgott, Mohg, Astel, Regal Ancestor Spirit, Malekith, Godfrey, and Fortisax. Godskin Duo shares a feature with the 4 Kings from Dark Souls 1. Both fights include respawnable enemies that share the same health bar, and you can deal damage to the main health bar if you attack the body of a dying boss in the fight. You can cut the limbs off the land octopus monsters on the beach. Hey, future me here. And through collecting footage for this video, I actually found out that the limbs from the octopus monsters can actually regenerate, so there's that. The Serpent Hunter only spawns once per world. It does not even respawn in NG+. This makes it the scarcest weapon in the game. However, you can get another Serpent Hunter if you participate in co-op. The Lands Between Room is the rarest item in the game, since it can only be obtained as a keepsake when you first customize your character. Once you make your character, you can no longer get another one unless another player drops one for you. You cannot call Torrent while on a mausoleum after it's been grounded. After starting a new game, you get slowed down while crossing lava. But in NG+, you can run across lava without being slowed down. This is also true for the Rot Lake in Haligtree. There are a total of 308 different wieldable weapons in the game, although this number may go up after DLC is released. As of patch 1.10, you can access Radahn without going to Altus Plateau or doing Ranni's questline. You have to do what is called a Stake of Marika skip. Dying this way respawns you at the same place that you would have respawned had you died to Radahn normally. The Astel boss in Consecrated Snowfield has the same moveset as the Remembrance version of Astel, except for one attack where he clones himself and attempts to grab you with each of his clones. The Knight's Cavalry duo in Consecrated Snowfield drops an Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. No other boss in the game drops a weapon upgrade material this valuable. There are a total of 6 Red Wolves in the game. Red Wolf for Radagon, Red Wolf for the Champion, and 4 different lesser Red Wolves scattered throughout the lands between in Necron, Liurnia, and Consecrated Snowfield. The boss that drops the most runes is Elden Beast with 500k. The boss that drops the fewest runes is Soldier of Godric with 400, but I'm not sure why they gave the least runes to the hardest boss. The Devourer's Scepter is the only legendary weapon you receive from defeating an NPC. All other legendary weapons you have to get from either beating a boss or picking them up off the ground or in a chest. The Serpent Hunter is unique since it does not require any stats to wield it, so you don't have to worry about not being able to fight Rykard no matter what your level is. There are a total of 21 different gank bosses in the game, meaning there are 21 boss fights where you have to fight more than one boss at a time. This excludes Radagon and Elden Beast. You can make Flying Dragon, Grail, and Caelid die from T-posing too much. Some enemies have a unique backstab animation. This animation can be seen from the Vulgar Militiamen and the Albernarch Archers. Radahn is the only Remembrance boss that you have access to without needing to fight another boss beforehand. You need to speak to Ranni and accept her mission before you can open the chest that contains the Fingerslayer blade. I almost wasn't going to include this one, but people always seem to be surprised by this fact for some reason. You can control which direction Radahn will come crashing in after phase 1. Whatever direction you are looking is the direction he will come from. If you stagger Godskin Noble while he is doing a rolling attack, he will instantly go back into his rolling attack after he recovers from the stagger. You can skip nearly all of Castle Sol and go straight to Commander Nile by jumping on this tree and getting on the roof of the castle. In the Lake of Rot, you can take less damage if you roll in the lake and then go on dry land. If you do it correctly, you will get rotted while standing outside the lake, and then you will take less damage over time from the Scarlet Rot. There are 21 regular smithing stone weapons that cannot have their Ashes of War changed. These weapons are the Ivory Sickle, the Crystal Knife, the Serpent Bone Blade, the Troll's Hammer, the Great Club, the Torch Bowl, the Tree Spear, the Ripple Crescent Halberd, the Soldier's Crossbow, the Light Crossbow, the Heavy Crossbow, the Arbalist, the Hand Ballista, the Great Bow, the Longbow, the Arbonaric Bow, the Finger Seal, the Gravelstone Seal, the Giant Seal, the Godslayer Seal, and the Clawmark Seal. Sometimes you can find rune bears sleeping, but they seem to only sleep if they are next to Trina Lilies. This makes sense because you can use Trina Lilies to craft sleep items. There is an illusory wall at the very beginning of Raya Lucaria, but it only has a rune arc. In the character customization screen, you can give your character a blindfold. Even though you only need 2 Great Runes to access Leyndell, you actually have to accept Melena's Accord as well. Furthermore, you can only enter Leyndell after Melina sends you to the Round Table. You can kick the Grafted Scion's shield and the Crucible Knight shields to open them up for a riposte. If you activate the Grafted Scion fight, then quit out, and then jump off the ledge before entering the arena again, you still get sent to Limgrave where Melina finds you. Cemetery Shades can be backstabbed, for some reason. In the cutscene that Melina finds you, she has Torrent with her. However, Torrent cannot be summoned by the player in the same location, so that means Melina is reported for hacking. Out of the 165 bosses Elden Ring has, there are only 11 unique bosses that do not have some kind of clone, whether it be another boss or a regular enemy. These bosses are Adon Thief of Fire, Necromancer Garrus, Renala, Radahn, Rykard, Esger Priest of Blood, Placidusix, Gideon Ofnir, Fire Giant, Millennia, and Radagon and Elden Beast. Although Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 3 have had some version of the Broken Sword, Elden Ring does not have one. The closest thing you can find is the Weathered Trey Sword. You do not need a Great Rune equipped for a Rune Arc to be useful. A Rune Arc alone can increase your maximum HP by 5%. The Darkmoon Greatsword has the lowest native Frostbite buildup of any weapon, with a Frostbite value of 55, but it can have the highest value of 70 if you apply the buff via the weapon's skill. And lastly, if you start as the Wretch class, which starts at level 1, you will need exactly 1,692,566,842 runes in order to achieve the max level of 713. If you made it this far, drop a like on the video, and if you want to watch more Elden Ring content, click one of the videos that are currently on screen.